Since the dawn of time, mankind has looked to the stars for answers. Who are we? Why are we here? And what the hell is going on with that floating rock in the sky? To answer these questions, in 1961, the Apollo spaceflight program was announced. Its mission: to put an American on the moon before the Soviet Union did. Why? Because this is America we're talking about. Foot race, arms race, space race. Does it really matter? NASA's Apollo program lasted from 1961 until 1972. And aside from a few hiccups along the way, the program was a massive success, with a crew from Apollo 11 touching down on the lunar surface on July 21st, 1969. And it wouldn't be the last time either. NASA's Apollo program produced 6 successful missions to the moon, with the crew of Apollo 17 being the last to realize that dust and crippling isolation weren't so exciting after all. In total, 20 flights were scheduled, but the last 3, Apollo 18, 19, and 20, were canceled due to a lack of new scientific value at the huge expense of the state budget and taxpayers. Well, that was the official report. Anyway. But what if I told you that missions 18, 19, and 20 did go on as planned? Only you weren't supposed to know about it. In 2007, a YouTube account under the name of Retired AFB posted a video that caused both conspiracy theorists and 13-year-old edgelords to unite, ship posting a storm across the internet from the comfort of their parents' basements. From Dildo Baggins.
Oh my fucking god! I knew it! The fucking feds are at it again. No life on the moon, eh? Tell that to the hot alien chick with huge knockers.
To Boner for your sis.
Bro, I seen her. She was hot as fuck. I'd do anything for some moon pussy. There's probably dudes up there getting laid right now.
The video was filmed from inside an Apollo spacecraft. You can see a distinct porthole, gears and levers, in the control panel. What looks like a joint American-Soviet flag, with the Apollo 20 mission patch, is also visible. Strangely, it depicts what looks like 2 spacecraft towing a large vessel. Below the flag, you can make out the names of the astronauts who took part in the mission: Snyder, Leonov, and Rutledge. Initially, internet skeptics attacked the footage as a hoax. But if you compare the original video to images from previous Apollo missions, it all checks out. Shortly after the video's release, Retired AFB claimed that he was retired Bell Laboratory scientist and United States Air Force veteran William Rutledge, mission commander of Apollo 20, the flight that never happened. According to Rutledge, his mission wasn't just to plant a flag and collect some moon dust. He was on a top-secret Soviet-American joint mission to identify and breach a 2-mile-long spaceship that crash-landed on the moon 1.5 billion years ago. Rutledge and the Apollo 20 team approached lunar orbit on August 16, 1976. Vessel: Apollo 20. Crew: William Rutledge, U.S., Leona Snyder, U.S., and Alexei Leonov, USSR. Course: Delport, a lunar impact crater on the dark side of the moon. Mission: explore an unidentified alien spacecraft and look for potential signs of hot alien babes. For those of you who still aren't convinced, this is Apollo image AS-15, P9630. It's a real photo taken by Apollo 15 in 1971. Take a close look. Closer. Closer. There, stop. That's where they were headed. To explore whatever the hell that is. Over the subsequent weeks, Rutledge began releasing more footage from the mission, including excerpts from his journal. In it, he writes that just as he and Alexei Leonov were about to depart the moon's surface, NASA dropped another bombshell, a secondary mission to locate Apollo 19 and find out what happened to the crew. According to Rutledge, The Americans sent Apollo 19 to explore the crash site a few months earlier, but the mission failed when they lost contact with the crew on the far side of the moon. But what happened? Were they still alive? Maybe the alien ship could support human life. Were they kidnapped by smoking hot alien babes? What happened to the crew of Apollo 19 was anyone's guess, but it soon became apparent that NASA wasn't willing to take any chances. Maybe that's why they equipped Apollo 20's landing capsule with an arsenal of guns, and not just any guns, moon guns. While Leona remained in lunar orbit, Rutledge and Leonoff touched down near the site of the massive alien vessel. Standing in its presence, they were awestruck. Alien craft specs, according to excerpts from Rutledge's journal. Height, 300 feet. Width, 300 feet. Length, 2 miles. Cargo, the dead crew of Apollo 19. Smoking hot alien babes. The team quickly gained access to the interior of the ship. The walls were smooth, and the floors were covered in a thick layer of lunar dust, due to centuries of exposure. They attempted to break off some samples of the interior for further analysis, but their tools proved no match for the foreign material. Even stranger, the team could feel a slight gravitational pull that seemed to be coming from the walls. The gravitational pull was one thing they didn't expect to encounter, but it was what they encountered next that really caught them off guard. Signs of life. As Rutledge and Leonoff moved further into the bowels of the ship, they found themselves in a large chamber. The walls and floors were covered in some kind of vegetation, huge vines as far as the eye could see. Upon closer examination, they noticed a strange thick substance beneath the plant matter, a liquid that Rutledge described as gold and phosphorescent. As the two collected samples of the liquid they dubbed golden tears, suddenly, Leona's voice came crackling through the radio from lunar orbit.
Will, we've got Houston on the line.
Patch him through, Leona.
Will, Alexei, these things are active. Video shows us that the plants have moved during your visit.
Roger, Control. I think I've seen the move too. The room continues for a long way. I think I see light up ahead. We could probably reach it in an hour.
Negative, Will. We want you to protect the samples. Return to the lab and get those canisters stowed.
Roger that, Control. Returning to Len.
The two wanted to continue exploring, but orders are orders. As Rutledge and Leonoff began retracing their steps back to the rover, it wasn't long before something caught their attention. Rover tracks in the lunar dust, but they weren't on their tracks.
Rover team to orbiter. You there, Leona?
I'm here, Will. What's up?
You better get Houston back on the horn.
Why? What is it?
Tell them we found Apollo 19.
Naturally, Rutledge and Leonoff wanted to explore the Apollo 19 module to check for survivors. But as Rutledge would later write in his journal, ground control didn't think it was a good idea. Whatever happened to Apollo 19, NASA didn't want the Apollo 20 team to succumb to the same fate. Hesitant, Rutledge and Leonoff considered their obligations, but as astronauts, they took an oath to leave no man behind. Whether ground control liked it or not, they were going to explore the module and search for survivors. As they approached the module, they noticed that the hatch was ajar. It quickly became apparent there wouldn't be any survivors. At best, they could hope to find the remains of the Apollo 19 crew entombed inside. As Rutledge surveyed the outside of the craft for clues, Leonoff made his way through the open hatch. That's right, their prayers of discovering a race of hot alien babes were about to be answered. After high-fiving each other for an extended period of time, Rutledge and Leonoff found themselves face-to-face with a hot, naked alien. Sure, she appeared to be dead, but who cares? She was smoking hot. Rutledge and Leonoff couldn't believe their luck. Not only was the alien hot as shit, but she was naked too. But unfortunately, their cheering quieted down when upon further inspection, her body appeared to be covered in some kind of strange waxy substance, possibly a pressure suit. Alien babe specs, according to sticky excerpts from Rutledge's journal. Height, 5 foot 2 inches, 2 arms and 2 legs. 6 fingers on each hand, forehead tattoo, massive knockers. She was wearing a strange device over her face. Her eyelids, cheeks, and mouth were covered with stalks of some kind. Rutledge dubbed her the Mona Lisa after he removed the stalks from her face and noticed a smile. Nearby was a jar containing what looked like the golden tear substance they discovered in the alien craft just moments earlier. Rutledge and Leonov closed the hatch and pressurized Apollo 19's module. They needed to take off their spacesuits and helmets so they could get a better look at the hot alien. Sure, Rutledge, whatever you say. Rutledge checked for a pulse. Nothing. After attempting to perform mouth-to-mouth for whatever reason, he put a stethoscope to the alien's chest. There wasn't a heartbeat, but he could hear a distinct whooshing sound, almost as if a liquid was moving through her body. They determined that the alien was neither alive nor dead, but rather in some kind of suspended animation. As Rutledge was busy wiping the alien's lipstick from his mouth, he was startled when Leona's voice came back over the radio. Only this time, she was on a private channel.
Snyder to Rover? Will? You okay?
We're okay, Leona. We found something unexpected in the Apollo 19 LEM. No crew, but,
We know. Houston is back online. We can see everything.
You want to patch me through?
Not yet. Will?
What is it?
Ground control knows.
They know? They know what?
About what you found in Apollo 19's LEM. They already know.
How is that possible?
Will, they know.
But we also found a bloody glove, and I'm pretty sure it belongs to Jim Reynolds. We need to go—
Will, they know about that too. They know all of it.
I don't understand how they would—
Will, Control wants you to bring the alien woman back to your module.
What? Why?
They,
Leona? What is it?
So, the question remains, is this story true? Well, the Apollo program was in fact canceled before the final 3 missions took place. The mystery and intrigue of it all have undoubtedly left it ripe for conspiracy. But did the Apollo 20 flight actually take place? Or is it just a ruse driven by sexually frustrated incels with an alien fetish? Until we land another shuttle on the surface of the moon, that's for you to decide.